All right, for this last final sampling technologies project, I wanted to talk about a tool that I used for some of the other technology projects as well as the Android application project that helped me test some of my um, database connection scripts. The application is called Postman, and essentially what Postman is that it's an API client. It's used to develop, test, share, and document APIs that a web developer could be working on. And it's all about APIs and how you create scripts and APIs and how do you do manual testing as well as automation testing of your APIs without having a full front end. And then it also allows you to collaborate your API and your workflow with other developers and then share that as well. And so really it allows you to test results. You can, do put requests and get requests and post requests to your database and to your API. And then you can save those responses for later. And then one of the stronger features of Postman is its feature of allowing for collections, which allows you to group um, different get and put requests and then run them in batch. So essentially, it's an automation tool that I used, and so it does have a lot of advanced features in it, but I used some of the basic ones, and I'll briefly show you a demo of how I used it to test my scripts before I actually created a front end. And this applied to the Mean Stack project, as well as my Android application project and the voice integration project. I did the exact same thing using this this application. So when you download it, you can install it and you can get it from Postman.com. It's free. The Pro version does have a fee for it that allows you to do thousands of collections, and it's more geared towards enterprise level. But for the free version, you get everything that that we would do in a school environment or even for freelance work. So essentially, what it is, it looks like this. I'll go ahead and minimize this for now. We'll just look at Postman itself. Um, and what we'll notice is that there's it can be a little bit daunting to look at it when you first download it, and so I had to watch some tutorials and read some documentation on the website to understand how it really works. And so on the left hand side here, we have history collections. This is a history of different post and put and delete and get requests I made to my server, which is right here. And I have these scripts right here, so I'll use the voice integration as a quick test to show you. So I have insert item, get item, and for my voice recognition app, I created an app that allowed you to use voice recognition to create a grocery list. And so I was then storing what the user was speaking into my web server. And so before I created the actual app, I wanted to test my scripts that I've written, which are right here. They're very basic, very simple, but I just wanted to make sure that they were working. And so we have, the script here that inserts items into the database, and then we have another one that gets the items from the database. I don't have that open here, but it's pretty straightforward. And so you can use these tabs over here to manually post and get different information. So we can. I'll go ahead and do a new one real quick. So I'll create a new tab here. Enter a request URL. So you can put any where your API is located, where the PHP file is that you're trying to access. And then simply, you can from this drop down, you can see all the different requests you can make. I'll do get and hit send. And so this connected to my database and it pulled all the information here. And you can get this information in JSON format. You can get this in HTML format. You can get it in text. You can get it in. And then the other benefit of this is that you can then search as well on the right hand side of a particular variable. So this can be really handy when you have large data sets that you're trying to access or see, what your database is storing properly or not, and you can search for those through variables right here. And then it also tells you the time it took to get the return, what the status is, and then the time over here. And then obviously you have cookie and header information here. You can and then test any tests that you may be running that are part of this, and I'll go over that briefly. And so these are the items that are in the database, and this is the database backend for my server, and you can see that these are the items that it returned. So when we have to insert an item here, this is the second tab here. I can hit, this is the actual key, and I'll put in just put in meat, and I'll hit send. So in my script, I don't have an echo returning whether something was inserted properly or not. I should probably add that. But if we go back to the get and we hit send, we should see. Did I not add it? Let me try that one more time. I'll close this, open a new tab. Don't need to save that. Post body. We'll do item name, and we will get some sushi. Send, and then we can go back to our get items, and there we go. So it's added the item right here, sushi. So that's how I tested my script to see whether I was inserting items properly or not, and so it really helped me test out these scripts and some of the other ones that I've developed in the past. And it's really useful for that. The other feature that I was talking about is the collections feature and the automation process. So here I created a folder called FSU, and then in here you can create subfolders. So I can create one called Get, and then I can create another one called Post. And then within these over here, you can add requests to these directly. And so I can add items to it, and essentially hit run, and it'll run all the requests that you are for this, and you can name this anything you want. So you can have get, put, delete, and then you can run automation testing on your APIs. You can do this using the runner functionality that this has. I haven't used this too much, so but there's a lot of information here. There's a lot of tools here we can use to test your APIs, and you can add monitors that'll allow you to. So this is forcing me to log in, but the monitors allow you to, monitor the API, how fast it takes to get data and upload data, and other functionalities that you may be wanting to test. So essentially, that's it, and I found it to be really useful. Some of the discussion points from a privacy and security point of view, it's not. I didn't run into any issues, and it's mainly used for testing and automation. So you're not really you're doing this in a closed environment. So you're not really opening yourself up for data injection or anything like that, because ideally you would want to do it on a test server or on a virtual machine. And from a learning curve perspective, there is a little bit of learning curve to this. It's kind of confusing to look at when you first open it up, but if you compartmentalize the different tools that are in here, it's pretty easy to understand, and you really can just a beginner can learn how to use this tool really well. And then the last thing was the team collaboration part of this that I really like. I haven't used it, but in the future I definitely will. You can share your collections with other developers or team members, and you can collaborate collectively across different locations. So, if I'm working on my API and I can't figure it out, I can share it, and we can live collaborate on it in here and debug and test at the same time. So yeah, that's basically it. That's the tool that I wanted to share. Take care.